everyone, and welcome to, my name is Tina Wilson. I am chairperson of the Charles County Board of Education, and I would like to thank you all for coming and watching this special session involving redistricting, a comprehensive redistricting for all middle schools in Charles County. At this time, I would like to officially call this meeting to order, and I would like for you to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And for those that are watching, I would like to introduce members of my board, the Charles County Board of Education. Vice Chairman Virginia McGraw is with us tonight. Board Member Liz Brown. Board Member Mr. Michael Lucas. Board Member Mr. David Hancock. And Student Board Member Ian Hurd. This should be a very informative session, and at this time, because the staff has prepared a very well great presentation about this redistricting, I am going to now turn it over to Dr. Maria Navarro. Dr. Navarro.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Good evening. We are here to present the recommendations so far from a team of community members that were very committed to their assignment to bring forward some recommendations to the board. So you'll hear from our staff about the team members and a little bit about how they made some decisions moving forward. We just want to remind the folks that are at home and those that are present with us that we will be listening for feedback from the community. This is an opportunity for the community to provide input. If you are viewing this presentation from home, we ask you to use the email that we have provided to send us your information. Again, we are in a feedback listening time to be able to bring forward recommendations to the board based on the work of the community in the options that we're going to be talking about a little bit more. I want to present the staff that is here to talk about these details today. Next to me is Mike Heim, and with Mike are Steve Andritz and Brad Snow, who are going to go through the presentations this evening. So I believe with that, for those of you who are here also, please feel free to, at the end, come forward if you have comments, questions. Any questions that we are unable to answer tonight, we are compiling and then creating an FAQ that we will put out for the entire community to see moving forward. So I think with that, I'm passing it over to Steve. Mike? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Comprehensive middle school redistricting, and we have a slideshow here we're going to run through. To my left is Mr. Brad Snow, the Director of Transportation. We are the co-facilitators, and we will pass the mic back and forth as we go through the PowerPoint presentation. Make sure that's on. Hello?
My mic is working.
See if that works. Hello? There we go. Sorry. Again, I'm Steve Andritz, the Director of Planning and Construction. To my left is Mr. Brad Snow, the Director of Transportation. We are the co-facilitators for redistricting, and we're here tonight to go through the PowerPoint presentation on the comprehensive middle school redistricting, and we will be passing the mic back and forth as we run through this slideshow. What you see before you is a architect's rendering of the addition and renovation project at Benjamin Stoddard, which is the driver behind this redistricting process that we've started. This redistricting will be effective for school year 2022-23. Right-hand side. So some pertinent facts about the redistricting. The project is just over $48 million for the renovation addition. The square footage of the building is going to increase from 105,800 to 148,317 square feet. The state-rated capacity is going to increase from the current number at 711 to the proposed number at 975. It is a phased while occupied construction and will be completed in the fall of 2022.
Thank you, Steve. The superintendent's charge. The committee is charged with creating two alternatives that will establish new middle school boundaries. This is a comprehensive middle school redistricting with a focus on redrawing an expanded attendance zone for Benjamin Stoddert, which is receiving a complete renovation and expansion scheduled for the completion of the start of the school year 22-23. Board Policy 1900 establishes procedures for redistricting. Our goal is to move some students among all middle schools with due consideration of state-rated capacities, or as you'll see it throughout the presentation, is presented as SRCs, and anticipated growth using target enrollments provided by school and county government staffs.
A few of the general guidelines that were given to the redistricting committees are as follows. All neighborhoods are eligible for redistricting except those currently designated as non-transport or walking zones. Whenever possible, neighborhoods should not be divided between different schools. The committees were to account for current and future residential development when meeting their enrollment targets. Consult with the transportation representatives regarding the possible effects to existing bus routes and ride times when moving students. And when proposing changes to existing school zones, move students on the outer edges of a zone first and work your way inward.
The timeline for the committee, as you can imagine, not unlike most of society, we were disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. In October 2020, the Redistricting Committee was selected. Public information from the Town Hall session held on October 26 virtually. November 2020, Redistricting Committee began meeting weekly. Meetings were paused due to COVID-19. May 2021, the committee resumed its weekly meetings. July 2021, the Redistricting Committee completed its work. August 2021, Board received a report on the committee's recommendations at the August 10th meeting. Public hearings were set for Monday, August 23rd, 2021 from 6 to 8 virtually, and tonight, Tuesday, August 24th, 2021 from 6:30 to 8:30 here at Plata High School. September 2021, Superintendent will present her recommendation to the Board at its September 14th meeting. Public hearings on the recommendations are set for Monday, September 27th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Westlake High School, and Tuesday, September 28th, 2021 from 6 to 8 p.m. virtually. And then in October 2021, the Board will take action. The redistricting decision will take effect at the start of the 2022-2023 school year.
The redistricting committee was made up of members that were randomly drawn at the board's October meeting. There were 11 parents randomly drawn, 2 from the elementary level, 1 from the high school level, and 1 from each of the 8 middle schools. Additionally, the board selected 3 community at-large members and 4 school principals who were not from the middle school level. 3 government planners from Charles County Government Planning and Growth Management and the Town of La Plata, and CCPS staff supported the committee. So the next map is a map showing the current boundaries, and this is what things look like as an overall view today. This is the overall view for Alternative A, and as we note here, 992 students are moved. Some of these are students that are currently attending middle school and will shift from one school to the next, and some of these are students that would be rising 5th graders going into 6th grade and had not yet started at that school but are impacted. The first map we have here is of the Davis Middle School zone, and you'll notice it's titled the Changes Map for Alternative A. If you look at the outlined area, you see Davis Middle School zone is a split zone. It has 2 distinctive areas. They're outlined in the dark border. There are 2 green areas within the Davis Middle School zone. In the upper right-hand corner, you see it says from Mattawoman, so that block is coming in from Mattawoman Middle School, and it is block 3842. The blocks are all numbered. These are enrollment blocks, which is how all our students are accounted for and moved anytime redistricting is done. In the lower right, you'll see that there are 2 blocks coming in from Matthew Henson Middle School. that give us the overall zone as proposed. To the right, the state rated capacity of Davis Middle School is 997. Their official enrollment from September 30, 2019 is 885. And this is important because the 2019-2020 enrollment data is what was used for their districting effort. Because the 2020-21 enrollment numbers were impacted by the pandemic in Charles County as well as every other jurisdiction in the state, so the decision was to use the 2019-2020 data. The Committee on Alternative A proposed a number for Davis at 901 for school year 22-23 and 917 for 25-26. Next, we have two maps that show the whole zone with the enrollment blocks for Alternative A, and a third map that shows the zone with the roads underlaid so that folks are able to pinpoint where they are. We will talk in a minute when we get to the end about the interactive maps and the ability for folks to look at those through the links, put in their information, search their addresses, find out where and how they're impacted as well. Next, we have John Hanson. You'll notice that John Hanson has two areas in red that are moving out. So if it's in red, it's moving out. If it's in green, it's moving in. We have one area in green moving in. State rated capacity at John Hanson is 797. Their September 30, 2019 enrollment was 893. Their proposal for Alternative A is 805 for school year 22-23 and 833 for school year 25-26. Again, a map with the enrollment block showing the complete zone, and a map with the road underlays. Sorry. Next, you have Matthew Henson Middle School. You have an area moving out to Davis, shown in red, and an area moving in from Summer, shown in green. Davis's state rated capacity is 668. Their September 30, 2019 enrollment was 811. Alternative A's proposal has them in 22-23 school year at 654. And in school year 25-26 at 666. Zone of Henson with the blocks and the road underlay. Next, we have Matawan Middle School. Matawan Middle School actually has one block that moved out to Davis, and shown there in red. State rated capacity is 912. Their September 30, 19 enrollment was 1,026. Their proposal in Plan A has them at 914 for school year 22-23 and 942 for school year 25-26. This is the zone and the zone with the road underlay. Next, we have Pickawaxen Middle School. You'll see Pickawaxen shows areas coming in from Milton Summers in the upper area of the maps in green. Pickawaxen's middle school state rated capacity is 563. Their September 30, 2019 enrollment was 450. Their Plan A proposal in school year 22-23 has them at 551, and school year 25-26 at 570. This is Pickawaxen zone, and this is their zone with the road underlay. Next, we have General Smallwood Middle School. You'll notice there's an area in green to the right that's moving in from Summers. The state rated capacity for General Smallwood is 604. Their September 30, 2019 enrollment data was 527. Plan A has them proposed at 555 for school year 22-23 and 561 for school year 25-26. This is their zone as proposed with the enrollment blocks and their zone with the road underlay. Next, we have Milton Summers Middle School. You'll see there are several areas in red moving out of Milton Summers to Smallwood, to Henson, to Pickawaxen, and to Stoddert, and then areas moving into Summers from Stoddert and from Hanson. State rated capacity of Milton Summers is 795. Their September 30th, 2019 official enrollment was 1,086. Plan A has Milton Summers with a 22-23 school year enrollment at 676 and a 25-26 school year enrollment at 812. This is their zone with the enrollment blocks and their zone with the road underlay. Stoddert Middle School is the last of the eight middle schools. You have areas coming in from Summers and in from Hanson, and areas going out to Hanson and to Summers. State rated capacity is shown with a projected number, which is the 975. Current SRC is 711. The official September 30th, 2019 enrollment was 814. Plan A's proposal has Stoddert Middle School, Benjamin Stoddert Middle School with a 22-23 school year enrollment at 959 and a 25-26 school year enrollment at 992. This is the zone with the enrollment blocks and the road underlay. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Snow for alternative B.
Thank you. As we look at alternative B, the overview of alternative B, we see that the alternative B moves 1,025 students, and you'll notice some distinct differences as you look at the overlay map there on the right. You'll see some distinct differences in the zones and also the layout and the blocks of which were chosen to be moved. As we move through the 8 middle schools, our first is Davis, and you'll see the changes for the Davis zone under alternative B. Obviously, the green, as Steve indicated, we're going to the Davis zone from Summers, from Mattawoman, and you see one at the top right to Mattawoman, so that would be leaving the Davis zone. The state rated capacity for Davis is 997. The official enrollment of 930-19 was 885. Through alternative B, we would see a projected number of 1,027 in school year 22-23, and 2025-26, 1,042. There you get a clear view of what Davis's zone would look like using the blocks. Third map would be the underlay with the roads. Next map, alternative B, would be the Hanson zone. The changes that they presented, you can see in red, would be removing blocks to Stoddert. Their state rated capacity, 797. Official enrollment, 930-19 was 893. With alternative B, the changes for the Hanson zone in 2022-23 would be 802. In 25-26, it would be 831. There you see the blocks for Hanson and the roadway underlay. For Henson, under alternative B, you'll see that alternative B has blocks moving in from Summers, has a block moving out to Davis. Henson zone would be a state rated capacity of 668. The official enrollment in 930-19 was 811. Alternative B for Henson would have the projection at 2022-23 at 621 and 25-26 at 633. And there you see the road underlay on the third map for Hanson. Mattawoman zone, the changes for alternative B. You'll see moving in blocks from Davis, and you'll see blocks moving out to Davis for Mattawoman. The state rated capacity of 912, the official enrollment in September of 2019 was 1026, and the projected numbers for Mattawoman for alternative B for school year 22-23 was 880, and for 25-26, 908. There you see the blocks indicated, as well as the roadway underlay. For Pickawaxen, similar to the other alternative, you'll see blocks coming in from Summers to the north, with a state rated capacity of 563. An official enrollment of 930-19 was 450, and alternative B projections for Pickawaxen would be school year 22-23 of 544, and school year 25-26 of 563. There you see the complete zone with the blocks for Pickawaxen, followed by the roadway underlay. Next we have Smallwood, and you can see to the right of the Smallwood zone, we have a number of blocks moving in from Summers. Their state rated capacity is 604. Their official enrollment with the figures that were used were 527. Alternative B's projections for Smallwood for school year 22-23 would be 573, and for 25-26 it would be 579. Summer zone for alternative B, you'll see that group B chose to remove a number of blocks to Smallwood, to Henson, to Stoddard, and to Pickawaxen. Summer zone has a state-rated capacity of 795. The official enrollment was 1086. School year 22-23, the alternative B's projection for summers would be 716, and 2025-26 would be 923. The Stoddard changes for alternative B. You will see that the southern part of the Stoddard zone would be moving from Summers, getting students from Summers, and the northern part from Hanson. The state-rated capacity, or SRC, at 975. That's the projected state-rated capacity. The current SRC without the addition is 711. The official enrollment in September 2019 was 814. Alternative B's projections for Stoddard in school year 22-23 would be 966. School year 2025-26, 966.
Next, we have a few quick comparison charts so that anyone is available to look at. You see the middle schools listed to the left-hand side, followed by the state-rated capacities, the official September 30, 2019 enrollments for those schools, and the 22-23 proposed enrollments for Alternative A and Alternative B. This is, again, just a quick comparison chart for anyone to look at. There is an asterisk on Benjamin Stoddert with the state-rated capacity with the proposed number at 975, as that was the target that the redistricting committees were given to work towards.
Same thing on the following page, the enrollment SRC and 5-year growth. You see the middle schools on the left, state-rated capacity, official enrollment that the numbers were based on for 2019, and then comparatively the numbers for Alternative A and Alternative B for those 5 years of growth.
Before we switch down to the secret. One other point to note, as you see in the title, is that this does include growth. Part of what was done with this was working with county government planners as well as with the town of La Plata planners, so all known subdivisions were accounted for that are in process approved subdivisions, and the growth that would be generated from them was moved with the students that may already exist in those enrollment blocks. So that's why it's important to note that that does include those growth factors as part of the numbers as shown.
As far as resources go, you can find information on redistricting at the website above, and this can be found also on our webpage. Explore each option with our interactive maps. You can go on the line and see Alternative A and Alternative B interactively. You can turn on and turn off certain school zones, certain schools, and things of that nature. It's very interesting to take a look at those options. And certainly email ideas to redistrict@ccboe.com.
Okay, our final slide has just the final steps. As was mentioned by Mr. Snow earlier, there was a virtual public hearing conducted last night. Today is August the 24th, is the public hearing right now in La Plata. On Tuesday, September 14th, the superintendent will present her recommendation to the board. Monday, September 27th is a in-person public hearing from 6:30 to 8:30 in the auditorium at Westlake High School. Tuesday, September 28th, 2021 is a virtual public hearing from 6 to 8 p.m. And in October, the board will take action. The redistricting takes effect at the start of the 22-23 school year. This concludes our presentation.
And we do have one speaker here this evening. This is Brian. We'll have him come forward and speak.
Hello. First of all, thank you for the presentation. Mike, Brad, Steve did a good job on it. I also wanted to, I know the whole middle school redistricting was a tough endeavor, especially during a pandemic. I can't imagine the steps that you had to go to get this committee to take off. And also, I think we should be very good to thank the committee members that participated in that, because they also did this during a middle of a pandemic when, there's a lot of unknowns going on. And, so it's really pretty cool that, this committee actually took off and took place. I'm really here to speak to you as a parent. I live on on 17 Pocahontas Court in La Plata. I live in a neighborhood called Jamestown. If I tell you guys I live in Jamestown, you probably give me a blank stare, like, where is that in La Plata? But if I tell you I live in Quailwood, you know exactly where I'm talking about. I live in Quailwood. I actually, in fact, had a neighbor just move across the street about a year ago, and he actually was a FedEx driver. He had no idea that our neighborhood was Jamestown. For all these years, he delivered packages on our street and had no idea we were Jamestown. He just thought we were all Quailwood. The reason I want to bring that in context is because what's going on in both alternatives is that you're separating, based on the way the enrollment blocks worked, is the enrollment blocks are moving the Jamestown neighborhood and separating it out of the rest of the neighborhoods in Quailwood. And that one slide that you had where it's talking about not separating the neighborhoods. I know it's a different neighborhood, but it's not a different neighborhood. It doesn't feel like a different neighborhood. My kids, who have two daughters, one that's going to be in 5th grade at Dr. James Craig, and the other one that's going to be in 3rd grade, they have friends that are going to be moving to a different middle school. My kids will go to a different middle school. And I can go back to when I was in middle school. I went to middle school at Margaret Brett Middle School in St. Mary's. I remember coming home on the bus, my friends would find things to do. What we do after school, we would do our homework and we would go play. We would go do things. We created memories together. We bonded. We dealt with issues that when you're in middle school is such a tough time. It's so tough because you're dealing with so many different types of issues, and you need your friends, but you also need your friends in your neighborhood to help you through those tough times. If you separate the students from those two different districts, you're going to do a disservice to those kids, because now they're going to have friends that live far away. Parents aren't going to have the time to take their kid to their friend's house because of that. So they're losing that face-to-face interaction. I know it's a whole different world. People don't have face-to-face interactions like we did growing up, but you're still taking away that disservice if you do that. And I'm also wanted to point out, right now, I'm the only one here, okay? There's so much going on in this world that people do not even know that this middle school redistricting is going on. They're so worried about their student starting school on Monday. The kids are so excited, my kids are super excited. They've been asking me all week, who's my teacher? Who's my teacher? Today, we finally got on to find out who their teacher is. They're so excited to find out who their teacher is. They're so excited on Thursday to figure out who their classmates are. All that stuff. So we're dealing with that. We're all worried about getting our school supplies for our kids. Our other parents that are in middle school and high school are worried about getting their kids to the athletic schools. They're worried about getting them ready. But at the same time, they're also focusing on this pandemic. They're worried about their students going to school with a mask. What's going to happen to them? They're exposed, like my kids, they're under 12. They can't get any type of vaccine. There's so much going on in this world right now that no one is really focused on this middle school redistricting. And what's going to happen is you're going to make a decision based on A or B. People are going to find out about it when it's going to happen, and they're going to be like, what the heck? You're sending my student 10 miles down the road when my middle school was only 2 miles this way? So I think there needs to be maybe a longer time before a decision is made so the public is a lot more aware of what's going on with this middle school districting. Another thing I would so what I'm really here to ask, okay, what I'm here to ask is, like I said, the Jamestown neighborhood is part of an enrollment block that's really part of an enrollment block that extends beyond Hawthorne to the north. It kind of goes to where, kind of behind Lido's and Wawa is, while the other Quailwood neighborhood has their own enrollment block. And I kind of think that's just a mistake. No one did it on purpose. That Jamestown enrollment block extends to houses down 301. Just take the enrollment block for Jamestown, cut it off, so the students that live in Jamestown go to the same school with the other students in Quailwood, in the neighborhoods in Quailwood. Come up with an alternative C. Look at I know staff, Mike and Steve and Brad probably have things that they see that's good in alternative A, and they also see that's good things and bad in A and good in B and A. Come up with a C that fixes those things that was able to come up and fix the Jamestown part, so you're not taking kids that should be able to play together, work together, create memories together, and away from that. You're doing a disservice to them if you do that. So again, I really appreciate you guys. I wish more people here could speak up to me to bring this up. I know it's a tough job. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes that created this, so again, thank you guys. But again, that's just my point. I just want you guys to figure out a alternative C to fix the nuisances, because I honestly did not look at it much farther than what my neighborhood is, because that's all, that's impacting me, right? But I don't know if there's other neighborhoods that have this type of service. Maybe you guys should drive through the neighborhoods that are really close to make sure you're not taking out some sort of, by accident. It's not like anyone's doing it on purpose. They just don't know the neighborhood. Just check it out, look at it, come up with, like I said, an alternative C or D or E or whatever you want to come up with. You can call it the Steve, alternative Steve, and then come up with that. But again, don't take the ability from my kids who've created friendships in elementary school, because the whole idea is if you go to you're in elementary school and you live in the same neighborhood and you can ride your bike to your friend's house, you should be able to go to the same middle school and you should be able to go to the same high school. You're taking that away on this, but just in my neighborhood. I don't know what you're doing in other neighborhoods, but I know in my neighborhood, that's what you're doing. So again, thank you guys for my time, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Do we have any other way we can get any questions or any feedback? Not this way, right? Because we're not, Shelley, just a question. We're not able to see any comments or questions unless they're being sent
To the
email.
redistrict at ccpoe.com, and I did check the account today to see if anything came in based off of last night's virtual hearing, and I don't have anything in that account yet.
Shelley, for the concern that was raised about where families are in our major return to in-person learning, and whether or not, just for the board's sake of knowing, can you talk a little bit about what we have sent to families and how we're thinking about continuing to, and I believe Mr. Lucas yesterday brought up the concern about low participation. And can we just go through what we've done thus far and what we're thinking about moving forward? And then just want to pose that to the board members as we look at timetables and really having the community the opportunity to interact. Again, the great thing this time around, and I don't think the community had an opportunity for, was we now have really high-tech maps that you can actually get down to and look at neighborhood streets. So we are encouraging the community to take some time to do that. I too am getting ready for school, so there is that concern as well. And so I understand that. And so I just want to kind of recap what that looks like so that the board is completely informed on what we've done thus far as we discuss next steps.
Sure. So this presentation was presented to the board at its August meeting. So prior to that meeting, the communications team, generally we help craft the messages that are included in weekly emails to staff and parents. So we first introduced the presentation to the community through an email prior to the board meeting that advertised items on the agenda, including an update from the redistricting committee that was presented August 10th. The communication about the hearings has been sent electronically, from what I can recall, at least twice, to advertise the hearings. We've promoted it on our social media accounts, primarily Facebook, multiple times. We've provided information on the Redistrict at CCPS-TV email account for feedback. We have also our back to school page. We've promoted that a lot on different platforms via email. It's a page on our website. It's dedicated to back to school. The redistricting information is on that page as well. There's a lot of content on it, so parents may not be looking for that particular update on that page. It is there. We do also have a dedicated page on our school system website as we share with every redistricting process. That page is specifically dedicated to this middle school redistricting process for the year. The page was actually built and launched last year when this process first began, prior to its pausing last fall. But that has the presentation, it has the information about the town halls. It also has a fact sheet, just an overview of the redistricting process that we will share with middle school families, as well as a fact sheet that we will develop that has a summary of the two alternative options that will go out by email to parents of children that would be affected by this. That would be, your incoming 5th, 6th, and 7th graders, since this does take effect next school year. So those are some of the ways that we've tried to build that community engagement for this process.
Thank you. So I don't see any other questions or comments here. I just want to remind the viewers, and I think we will be able to show this so that people can catch it a couple of different times as well, that we are in a input-seeking time period. As you see the timelines, the superintendent recommendation is scheduled to come on September 14th to the board. There'll be additional hearings once the superintendent's recommendation comes forward. There's the timetable right now that we have set. So, Ms. Wilson, I don't believe we have anything else. I just want to give you the opportunity to do closing remarks and ask anything of staff.
At this time, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Navarro, and the staff, and the committee members that participated in this very challenging process. It's evident that they've worked hard and they have come up with some really good alternatives. At this time, I'd like to offer an opportunity for my board members if they would like to make any closing comments. Hearing none, Dr. Navarro, I think this concludes this session. And again, I'd like to thank those gentlemen that showed up. That was very good input and well received. And I'd also like to thank the members in the community for watching tonight. We're listening, and we welcome any input that you can provide via email or contacting us. So this concludes the public process for tonight. Thank you for joining us.